Think about the last time you weren't invited to something. Maybe you saw photos after the fact. Maybe someone mentioned a plan you weren't part of. Maybe the group chat went quiet, and then you found out later what they were doing without you. You probably told yourself it wasn't a big deal. But your body didn't agree. There was something that felt almost physical about it. A tightening. A low-grade ache that didn't go away immediately. And the strange part is, you might not have even wanted to go. But that didn't matter. The not being included was the thing that hurt. That reaction feels embarrassing to admit. Like it makes you seem needy or childish. But what if it had nothing to do with neediness at all? What if that pain was one of the oldest survival signals in the human body, and your brain still can't tell the difference between a missed party and a genuine threat to your life? Here's where it starts. For most of human evolutionary history, being excluded from your group wasn't a social inconvenience. It was a death sentence. You couldn't hunt alone. You couldn't defend yourself alone. You couldn't survive a cold night, a predator, an illness, or a drought alone. The group was the only reason you stayed alive. And if the group turned its back on you for any reason, your odds of surviving dropped to almost zero. So your brain evolved a system to make sure that never happened. Neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran a study using a simple computer game. Participants played a virtual ball-tossing game with what they thought were two other real players. Midway through, the other players stopped passing the ball to them. That was it. Just a game. No real consequences. The participants knew on some level it wasn't serious. But when Eisenberger scanned their brains during this moment, she found something that stopped her cold. The same regions of the brain that activate when you feel physical pain, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the anterior insula, lit up when people were excluded from a ball game. Social rejection and physical pain use the same neural circuitry. Your brain processes being left out the same way it processes being burned. This is why it hurts. Not metaphorically. Actually hurts. Your brain was never designed to distinguish between "they didn't invite me" and "I am in danger of being abandoned and dying." To the oldest parts of your nervous system, those are the same message. And here's the part that changes how you see this entirely. Researchers found that the intensity of the social pain response doesn't depend on how close you are to the people who excluded you. Participants felt it even when they were told the other players were just a computer program. Even when exclusion made no logical sense, the brain still fired the alarm. The system isn't rational. It was never meant to be. It was meant to be fast, and loud, and impossible to ignore. Because in the environment where it evolved, a slow or quiet warning about social exclusion was a warning that came too late. This is also why you can replay a moment of rejection for days. Social psychologist Roy Baumeister spent years studying what happens to people after exclusion. One of his findings was that social rejection doesn't just hurt in the moment, it impairs cognitive function. People who had just been excluded performed measurably worse on logic tasks, showed less self-control, and became significantly more sensitive to social cues around them. Your brain, after exclusion, goes into a kind of threat-scanning mode, looking for more signs of danger, trying to figure out what went wrong so it can prevent it from happening again. That overthinking you do after you feel left out, replaying the situation, analyzing what you said, wondering what shifted, that's not anxiety. That's an ancient threat detection system doing exactly what it was built to do. Now here's what this actually means for your life. The next time that feeling shows up, the low-level ache when you see plans you weren't part of, the sting of a message left on read, the quiet discomfort of walking into a room where everyone already knows each other, your brain isn't being irrational. It's running a program that kept your ancestors alive. The problem is the program can't update itself. It doesn't know you're not on a savanna. It doesn't know that missing a dinner doesn't mean the tribe has abandoned you. It still fires the same alarm it fired 100,000 years ago, because the stakes it was built for were that high. Understanding that doesn't make the feeling disappear, but it changes your relationship to it. You stop treating the pain like a character flaw and start seeing it for what it is, one of the most ancient parts of being human. Every person you've ever met carries this same wiring. The most confident people you know. The ones who seem completely unbothered. They feel it too. The brain doesn't make exceptions. We are a species that survived because we stayed together. And the part of us that remembers that never fully switched off. That ache of being left out isn't weakness. It's the oldest proof that connection was never optional for us. It was the whole strategy. Comment below, what does being left out actually feel like for you in a moment? I genuinely want to know if it hits differently depending on who it comes from.